it's Jen with Astro T Astrology. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about how the stars align for the week of October 8th through the 14th. Now we have a really intense week this week as we lead up to the new moon eclipse in Libra at the end of the week. So there's a lot to talk about. So let's get started. First, we have on the 8th, we have Mars that is still in Libra. And it is in a square to Pluto, both at the last degrees. So this really provides us with a lot of courage and willpower to achieve our goals. Now, if you did watch the video on the eclipse, we know what this is all leading up to. This is leading up to this big transformation, this big change, really to better ourselves. So this is a really good start. It's a really good push in that way. And also because it is at the last degrees of these signs, it's something that you feel like you really need to do, like it's urgent, like you want to do, you want to finish up with the old to start the new. So it gives us that courage, that willpower. You could have some control issues, some combative power struggles a little bit. Also, you have that desire to gain back control, so that could be an inner struggle. So it could be with someone in authority, or it could be with yourself, just like an inner struggle to gain back control that you may feel that you have lost. It really challenges you to go deep inside yourself, or really deep into a project or an objective that you have, something that you've been working on. It's a good time to really it gives you that intensity, it gives you that focus and that drive to really get down deep and really just like put your all into it. Get you over like any kind of hurdles that you have. Say, you're having, you're writing something, you're having some kind of writer's block. It gets you through that. So it makes you really get down into your deep inner psyche to get you through any of the issues you might be having, to kind of finish the projects you might be working on, or whatever, however this falls in your chart. But you want to be careful not to be overbearing. So this does have a tendency to make you, because of it is at the last degrees, it is Mars, and it is in a square to Pluto. So those are very intense signs. Mars is very aggressive. Pluto can be very, controlling, very obsessive. You don't want to be over domineering. You don't want to be quick tempered. You want to, be able to temper yourself so that, you're not just flying off the handle. So it could be a day where you could feel, a little bit angry, a little bit unsettled. So you want to know that, Mars is moving pretty quickly, so it's not going to last too long, but a lot of intense activity this week. So this kind of just really starts it off, and, it kind of just starts you off on that foot of just kind of that like intensity. Also happening today on the 8th, we have Venus moving into Virgo. So Venus has been in Leo since June 6th. So it's, a lot of a different kind of feeling. So, Venus, when it's in Leo, it wants to be the center of attention. She wants to have people fawning all over her. And with Venus moving into Virgo, that actually puts her into her fall or her exile. So, because she, not a place that she likes to be. She likes to be the center of attention. She likes to get, it's a very different dynamic than in Leo. That showy kind of peacocky type of way, like, hey, look at me, I'm getting all the attention. But now it's more of that, kind of Virgo, day-to-day mundane, that work, your health. Love is shown in different ways now. So love, in Leo is, giving attention and receiving that attention. But now that it's in Virgo, it's not by flowers and gifts. It's about those little things. It's, maybe cleaning out the dishwasher for, when you don't usually do it, helping fold the laundry, assisting in the day-to-day chores that you might not normally do, making sure they're eating healthy. If they're not feeling well, maybe make them some soup if they're sick, and so on. It's just kind of those everyday kind of little things that you do for someone that's going to be, the key to, keeping that relationship going, keeping that Venus happy. But you do have to, put in the effort a little bit. You don't want to be nitpicky. Virgo has a way of being nitpicky, and you don't want to get like that. You kind of want to, try and curb that a little bit. Watch, well, that's not done right. That's not done right. Needs to be done like this. You might feel like that, like, "Ugh, why doesn't he ever put his socks in the, hamper? Why are they on the floor?" Things like that might really get to you a little bit, because Venus is just, I'm not super happy here. I don't feel comfortable. So, you want to kind of do those nice things for somebody, and, just help them out in every day, go on a little walk with them, get out, get some nice fresh air, breathe in the fresh air. It's all about, your health and your day-to-day routines, and really, helping each other through that. So with this Mars Pluto square also happening, there's gonna be some issues. There's gonna be some strife. You want that, fawning all over, that adulation, but it's, that routine, boring. But it isn't a mercurial sign, so I feel like you should be able to work well together. So if you do have a project going with your significant other, your partner, that's going to go well today. You're going to be able to, kind of, work well in getting things done. Even if, you're having those big, deep conversations, late night conversations, staying up, talking about anything, everything, especially if it's somebody new and, you're sitting up on the phone all night, it's a great night for that. So, just really put in to take care of each other. Now is a great time to just put in that day-to-day care, to just show that, that you do care. So also today, go Saints. So we're hoping that Mars and Pluto makes them dig a little bit deep and play a little bit better today, because it hasn't been looking too good. So let's hope the big transformation this week is maybe the Saints are going to turn it around a little bit and step it up. And today we're playing the Patriots, and I'm from New England, but Saints fan at heart. So kind of, we'll see what happens. So next on the 10th we have Venus in Virgo, opposite Saturn in Pisces. Now this, along with the whole Venus in Virgo, can bring up a lot of limitations. Saturn is about, those obstacles, those limitations. It's the end. It's the end of those visible planets. So it's, that's the end, and everything else is kind of like, once you get through the gatekeeper. So you might feel things a little bit deeper. It might, take things a little bit more personally. So if you do, with that Venus in Virgo, if, your partner or you are being a little bit like that nitpicky, that perfectionist type of thing, if you're being like that, people are going to take it a little more personally. It's going to hurt a little bit more. So, a small issue that, wasn't really an issue before can now, keep you up stressing at night, and it can cause a huge fight maybe between the two of you in relationships, or even financially. Maybe you've been, a little bit short on money. Now it's going to become more of a stress. Because that Saturn in there, you really, want to work towards kind of improving your financial. It is in opposition with Venus, though. Venus wants to spend, Saturn wants to kind of curb that, and, let's think rationally, let's be practical. So there's that opposition there, going against each other, and, it could be a hindrance on your finances, so you want to be careful there. Don't be too hard on yourself with that Venus in Virgo. Again, you can be picky on yourself, not just on somebody else. let Saturn help you manage that stress and work your way through it. Manage the stress, manage your everyday work life. It could be these everyday, chores, activities. They could cause you a lot of stress. So also on the 10th, we have Pluto stationing direct. So it's at the 27th degree of Capricorn. Pluto is actually the first of all the outer planets to go direct. So we have everybody kind of getting ready to go forward now, instead of like this kind of like trudging through the mud feel that we've been having. Like, you want to get things going, but things are just really slow going. But it is Pluto, so it's still gonna, not, of course, get revved up and speed off, kind of like a Mercury thing. So it's going to really be staying in those last degrees of Capricorn until January 22nd, when it then ingresses into Aquarius again. So we did see that little peak of Pluto in Aquarius. Let's see, and it's going to get to about, let's see, it went into Aquarius back in the spring. So we did see that little glimpse of what was going on. I think it was about March that it went into. So we did see those glimpses of what it's going to bring when it finally goes in there. So it's really only going to get to about the 2nd degree of Aquarius, and then it's going to go retro again, go back into Capricorn in September of 2024. Then it goes, and that only is going to last till October, when it then goes direct and finally takes up its permanent residence, or its residence for the next about 20 years, till about 2043 to 44-ish, on November 20th of 2024. So we got a while. It's still going to be doing those sneak peeks and everything. So what are the glimpses that we had back in the spring? Back in about the March to, I think it was June, that it went, I'd have to look at my notes. But what did we see? We saw a lot of that AI stuff coming out. So Aquarius is about like internet and about technology and, things kind of changing in that way. So we saw that a lot with AI. We also, talk about aliens and contact with aliens and things like that. So, maybe this is something that is going to be, something big that's going to be coming up, and other things that may have, been in that kind of area back in the spring. So what was popping up that you noticed, even in your own life? Where is Aquarius in your chart? Where does that show up? For me, it's my 2nd house, so that's finances. So that gets me a little bit nervous, because you just never know. Our finance is going to improve. Pluto is about, transformation. So transformation of things. I don't plan on moving or anything like that. I don't plan on doing any big purchases. So you just never know how Pluto's kind of work there, just and whatever other aspects it has going on in your chart. So whatever you kind of got that glimpse of back in the spring, it's going to just kind of be re-poking out its head a couple more times until it really like solidifies itself in there. So then moving on the 12th, we have Mars moving into Scorpio. So Mars is moving out of its detriment and of Libra and into the house or the sign that it rules, Scorpio. So a lot happier there. Can be a very like sexual, sensual, you think of Scorpios, they're a very sexual sign, with Mars in there. So get ready to have a little bit of fun for a little while. It's at its best anyway. But it's also very transformational. So that's about, again, this isn't the Mars in Aries. It's a different kind of Mars. It's that going deep. It's that passionate. It's that obsessive. That's about transformation. Again, that's giving us those same themes that we saw in the beginning of the week, today with the Venus square And then we have, or not the Venus square, I'm sorry, I go back on my notes, Mars square. So we have, that transformation. I know it wasn't Venus. And then we have the Mars now in Scorpio. So really it's in the sign of Pluto. Also, it's kind of, that's the more modern ruler, where Mars is the traditional ruler. So it's kind of that blending. So I would expect, coming up with this new moon, with this eclipse coming up at the end of the week, this is when you want to start finalizing those plans. So if it is like, trying to get out of a relationship, you're getting all your ducks in a row, really getting down deep, getting like, okay, I need to really prepare for this, focus, really get it into your psyche, what you're going to do, to better yourself, to get out and to kind of leave behind whatever was toxic for you in the past. Got to really deal with fighting off those demons. It's really good placement for Mars to be with this upcoming eclipse. It's really going to help just for us to just go down. It's a dark feeling. It can feel very dark. You could feel very almost lonely because you're kind of just in your own mind. And if you are feeling like that, it's okay. You can feel like that because you have to get through these hard feelings to kind of get rid of the old, death of the old. You think of, Scorpio, Pluto, Mars, that's death of the old, rebirth into a new, improved you, endings and new beginnings. Face those fears, face those bad habits, get rid of them, get rid of those toxic people, and just emerge, like that butterfly coming out of it as a better, more positive feeling, more open person. And then on the 13th, is Happy Friday the 13th. I don't know if y'all are big Friday the 13th fans like me, but this is happening on Friday. So Friday the 13th, I suggest everyone stays home and just binges on some Friday the 13th movies. We got that eclipse coming up the next day. So, want to just stay home, play it safe, binge on some movies. I really suggest the Friday 13th 1 through 8. I probably would skip number 9. It's pretty unwatchable, and finish off with Jason X because that's a good one. So yeah, those are my favorite. They always have been. Anyway, also happening on the 13th, we have Mars that's in Scorpio. Now it's trining Saturn. So, you think of that square to Pluto, well, now it's in a nice trine to Saturn. So you gotta, whatever you're setting your sights on and your goals on to conquer and to change and to, get rid of those things that are toxic, this is great because you'll be more determined than ever. It's like, I am done. If it's quitting something, say like, I am done letting this drug, alcohol, whatever, control me, and I'm going to control myself. Same with, I'm done with this person that's controlling me, with this boss that's controlling me. You will be more determined than ever to just triumph over this adversity that has been just, tormenting you. Saturn, you have to put in that work. You are ready. You're going to have that determination. You're going to have that, getting ready for that groundwork to put it in to get that desired outcome. It's that discipline that Mars needs to not be just reckless and not make, these rash decisions. Don't be headstrong. It's going to give you that grounding, okay, we're going to, start here and, just do things the right way. Saturn helps you do things the right way. And if you do, then you're going to get the outcome that you want. Saturn isn't always that negative planet. In a trine, it can really be helpful. So it's going to help you to not be so rash, reckless, headstrong, and keep you kind of under control to do things the right way. How do we proceed? How do we move forward to a healthier and better future? Saturn gives us that discernment, that discretion that we need to persevere, to be ready for that long, scary evolution we're about to face. Because who knows what's going to happen? Who knows, those demons that are going to be popping up that we really have to go face to face with. And then finally on Saturday the 14th, we have that new moon solar eclipse in Libra. So I'm going to leave a link to that video and a link at the end of this video, so it'll pop up. You can just click on it. You can watch the whole solar eclipse video, kind of sum everything up. But really, you know, in a nutshell, it's about transformation. It's about getting rid of those bad, toxic things and starting new. You know, maybe, you know, Libra, plus we have the South Node in Libra. So when you think about the eclipse, you know, we have up here the sun and the moon, and then we have, and that's in opposition to our North Node. So it's in opposition to what those goals, those, you know, that's where our karma is, and this is where our destiny is. So do we want to fall back on our karma? We want to make sure that we have good karma, that we want to, you know, clean the slate. We want to have a good, clean slate to build on so that we can move away from that. We don't need, you know, that Libra energy holding us back, that like, well, if I do this, you know, you want to do things for yourself. That Libra energy, that Libra South Node is holding us back because it's saying, well, what if it's not the right decision? You know, you second guess, you're thinking of maybe the way others might feel, but, you know, sometimes, and this is the time where you really need to dig deep and you really need to do things for yourself. And this whole week just builds up to it. You know, we start with that Mars-Pluto square at the last degrees of, you know, Capricorn, that, and those are those that cardinal energy that we got to get things started. Okay, we're getting down, you know, before we get into the fixed signs, we really want to get our plan together, because once we get into the fixed signs, that's when everything is going to start kind of flowing, and we just going to go with the flow and just, you know, okay, so, you know, if it's getting away from, say, a toxic person, all right, so I'm going to get away from them, and then, you know, I have to do it. I have to plan it, get away from them, and then what is my life going to be like? And that's, you know, when you get into the fixed signs, when you get into, that's going to be the more everyday life, and how you're going to, you know, after you deal with those demons and after you deal with the hard stuff that you have to face in those cardinal signs, you know, it's going to be easier to just have that just good life after that. So, you know, if it's an addiction that you're trying to get away from, I know that it's hard to stop, to, you know, it's just easier to fall back, you know, to go back to that South Node, to fall back on those things. Well, you know what, I don't want to move out, you know, even though this person I know isn't right for me, so I'm just going to stay. You know, oh, you know, I won't drink as much. I'll just have a couple. It's just easier for me to do that than to, you know, be just wanting it so much. Or, you know, I'm going to stick with this job even though my boss is a jerk, or, you know, my coworkers are terrible. You know, don't let that South Node hold you back. You know, you've got to clear that conscience, clear that karma, get that, you know, better karma going so you can go to what you're meant to do, go towards your destiny. So this is what we're working towards this week. Really, you know, intense week coming up, so really get ready to dig deep, go inside yourself, fight off those demons. You can do it, and just empower yourself. That's really the theme for this week, is just empowering yourself to gain that control back, to get your self-control back. You know, you don't need to rely on other people. Oh, Chili's making an appearance. That's her first time. Hi, Jill. You gonna say hi? It's my dog, Chili. So anyway, that is about it for this week. So be sure to subscribe and get notified for upcoming videos, because we got a lot coming up. And, you know, being aware can really help you on your path towards your future. So be aware of what's going on in the stars, and you can, you know, use that to your advantage. So I hope to see you soon. And again, be sure to subscribe. See you soon. Bye.